Okay. Whew. There we go. Okay. Sorry I was late, everybody. I'm here. I'm not dead. I made it to my own live stream. Good evening. Let's see. Garrett, Paul. Let's see. Jeff. Scrolling through. Approach Medium. Good to see you, my friend. Willow Creek. Hope everyone is having a good night. Hopefully a little bit of a better night than I'm having, although hopefully now the night will start to go good and be fun. So I apologize for my tardiness, but I promise it was an important reason for me to be late, which was that I was trying to get my airbrush to work so I could actually see gloss coat this car, that way we can actually decal it tonight. I was fighting for the last probably 30 minutes of Paul's stream, and then the 20 or so minutes after that before I could finally get it to work well enough to just get one coat of gloss coat on this freaking car. So I'm going to have to really dig into that tonight and tomorrow and figure out what the heck is going on with my airbrush. But I got it to work enough, and that's all that's important. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think that's good. I hope it's not too loud or too quiet or anything. Oh man, I've got stuff everywhere here now. I didn't even clear my workspace here in time. So, tonight is freelance night, as time for some freelance fun, as the title and everything of the stream declares. So, yeah, we're going to talk a bit about the B&CCS and about some other freelance stuff that's going on, and have some fun. I just need to figure out where that went, because if I can't find that, well, it's not a problem for a stream, but it's just a problem for me. Oh, is the music too quiet? There, is that a little better, Paul? Thanks for keeping me honest on the audio front. I just need to quickly look for something I dropped. And hopefully it's right here, which I think it is, but let's see if I can find it. Alright, I can't find it right now, but I'll look for it later. It's not imminently important. So it's a problem for later, Dennis. Oh my goodness. Alright, so first things first tonight is we got a mail call. Dennis voice, not music to your... Yeah, exactly, Paul. What about that, huh? So the first thing that I've got tonight is a package here. This is from one Don Head. And it is actually from the N-Scale Enthusiasts National N-Scale Convention and Train Show a couple weeks back, or just a few weeks back. This is a package that I have been extremely excited to receive and try out what is inside of it. Let me just carefully go ahead and cut this open. Actually, let me just do this. There we go. Go ahead and pull this open. A little more X-Acto. There we go. Got some green bubble wrap. Ah, boy. So much tape. Well, I'm glad that Don packaged this well. Come on. Let me in. There we go. So this is an N scale sticker. Very cool, very cool. I know but that's not the exciting part. This is the exciting part. These are samples of the N-Possible couplers. These are brand new N-scale couplers that are coming onto the scene just now. They are going to be, I think they're available for pre-order right now, and are going to be out for sale in a week or so in Canada, where you can order them down to the US, but then you have to pay tariff taxes and stuff. And they're working on getting it down to US stores, but this is extremely exciting because these are scale coupler heads that have a lot of actual good detail. And the biggest thing for me is that the way that the springs work in holding the coupler aligned, it avoids the slinky that anyone who's run 9 to 10 car plus N-scale trains knows. That those cars, even a couple cars, if you're running at slow speeds, those cars will bounce back and forth all the way down the rails with microtrains couplers. But with these, those do not. And that's what's huge for me personally. The scale coupler head and stuff like that, that's awesome. And I'm definitely going to be putting it on my anything that's going to go to be judged by the NMRA. 100% is what's going to get these, because these look phenomenal. But the slinking is much more important to me. So these, I'm going to be making a full video on these. We're going to open them up, install them onto some cars, really try them out, and put them through their paces, see if they are even a little bit compatible with any other couplers, because I think I have most couplers that are on the market on some of my cars. But if they're not, then we're just going to focus mainly on any non-microtrains cars, and we will kind of flip back and forth between them. Ted, good to see you. We can start the stream now, everyone. We're good to go. See, that's what I was waiting to see if Ted would show up. Oh, jeez. Oh man, my desk is a mess right now from scrambling. But so that's the big package, the big news package here that arrived this week. It actually got here in the mail today, so I'm very excited to be trying these out and seeing how they work and putting them through their paces. And you can expect that video to be up either sometime late this week or early next week. And then next week I will have a video out from the third layout that I went to for Island Ops. Just slowly getting around to all that Island Ops stuff, a couple weeks at a time. But let me get these N-Possibles put away nice. That way I can open them up again. Okay, don't do that. There we go. That way I can open them up again nice for the video. And again, thank you to Mr. Don Head for sending these samples to me. I am, as I've said again, I'm extremely excited to try these out, because these could be the future of N-scale couplers. They look great and apparently run great. So yeah, I'm gonna test. They don't look particularly compatible, Garrett, but that's part of what I'm gonna test. Is, are they compatible with microtrains? Are they compatible with any couplers that are on the market? Kato. I'll probably even try and put together one of the, because I have a case of them. I'll try and put together, or a box of them. I'll try and put together one of the microtrains true scale couplers and see if it's compatible with that. I'm gonna go through all the couplers that I've got and test it. But it doesn't look particularly compatible just based on the images that I've seen. But we're gonna try it. So In any case, so that's the big news item. But since tonight is freelance night, I also have a small, fun thing to share. So this weekend, on Friday, went down to New York City, spent some time with Mr. Heath Hurwitz of Humanity Junction, or however you want to say his channel name. And spent some time running his layout, which is always a great time. And I was down there with one Paul Stamp of Paul Stamp's Finger Lakes Railway. Was also down there running the layout at the same time as me. So it was great to see Paul, get to hang out with him, get to show him all the joys and wonders of N-Scale, along with Heath. But he gave me, let me see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this to show on stream because because my camera sucks, basically, is what I'm saying. But if I go right here, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to utilize the zoom feature of this camera, which I forgot even existed until recently. Yeah, it's normal. That's what the N stands for, right, Garrett? Normal scale. Video cam, no. Main camera. Properties. Configure. Zoom. Yeah, the white is really. Well, you can kind of see it. Let me see. That's the max that I can zoom. Nah, that's the max that I can zoom, unfortunately. But this is a not graffiti patch. You can kind of see it faintly against the blue decal backing. Wonder if I change to a more yellow light, you'll be able to read it a little better. Not really, but you can vaguely see it. Yeah, if you could just shoot me a quick picture, Paul, I will pull it up on stream. But this is, Paul has recently come up with, so he's working on his own freelance concept right now, which is the Genesee Wyoming Transportation Company, which he models 19. This is actually going to be a great segue into the rest of the stream tonight. He models the 2005, which is he models 2005, and he models up in the Finger Lakes region. But part of his freelance story that he has built is having a local graffiti tagger, graffiti artist, out and about. And so he is part of the greater freelance cinematic universe that we've all been developing. He has shared some of these tags with us, with myself, with Heath, with Andy Estep, with all sorts of people. John, good to see ya. Hope you had some nice ice cream like I did. Let me quickly pull up this image so I can actually show what's going on. Come on. Yeah, Batavia, there you go. So actually out near Rochester is more accurate than Finger Lakes. I guess it's still technically the Finger Lakes region, but... So this is the not graffiti tag. No one can get mad at him because it's clearly not graffiti. But it's a really neat little concept that he's come up with of this fictional graffiti artist. So we're gonna, of course, the era that I model is not exactly Western New York. Okay, it's whatever. It's out there, but it's I don't model the era where graffiti is super prevalent on rail equipment, but I do model an era where it's pretty common on structures. So I'm gonna have to have, maybe I'll put it on a truck, or maybe I'll put it on a building or something and say, well, the artist took a visit downstate. But this is a super neat little thing, and Paul, I'm really excited that you've been working to develop this whole greater freelance connectivity thing, because it's great. I love freelancing. It's a lot of fun to develop your story and build out your story, and to be able to link it with other people. It builds credibility for your own story and their story. So something like this, just this little thing that connects the worlds, is wonderful. Actually, now is a great way to segue into the other thing that I want to show off tonight, because Paul brought it up on his stream, and I promised that I would share it. Paul, on his stream tonight, shared that he finally found some HO scale versions of this car to paint up, patch out for the GWT. But this is the N scale Genesee Wyoming Transportation's early salt car. Why did I make that go away? I've got to pull this up. Hold on. I got to bring the zoom back in. I didn't mean to close it, but I accidentally closed the control panel. There we go. So this is the very first car that ever rolled out of the Genesee Wyoming Transportation shops. At least, by that I mean Paul's decaling bench. So this is what the cars that he showed off on his stream are going to eventually look like, albeit probably much more weathered. But you've got the D&H shield and lettering all patched out. You've got the GWT oval, which is basically, it's kind of like the New York Central cigar band, but with Erie colors, because the rails that the GWT rolls over is ex-NYC and ex-Erie rails. So he took the New York Central cigar band logo and applied it with Erie colors and yellow lettering, and that's how he came up with his logo, which is super nice. And we got the GWTX, or GWTX, that was right, patched out down here. So, and on both sides. So it's great to have this, and it's actually pushing me to realize that I should develop some salt traffic for the Balfour and Colucha Creek Southern, because I model the Northeast, so it makes sense that we would need salt, and if the railroad's coming through, it might as well be on the railroad through transload. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to develop some big 3-bay covered hoppers in the B&CCS paint scheme to, or at least with B&CCS lettering, to interchange with Paul and down to Mr. John Farrington here in the chat, down to Jersey, and to the Salt City of Joey Buzniak up in Syracuse. So again, like Paul's saying, storytelling, so much fun. And speaking of storytelling, I'm forcing myself, and also forcing Paul, I guess, to do some storytelling here. So Paul's birthday, the reason Paul was down in New York City was it was his birthday. He came down and visited Heath's, as well as went to the Mets game, and enjoyed the David Wright retirement ceremony, and which I hope was awesome. It looked awesome from the video clips I saw of it. It looked phenomenal. But I was hoping this would be done before Friday, but instead it's being worked on here live on stream for you, Paul. I kind of wanted to give him a little bit of a birthday present. Hey, I'd be more than happy to take that, John. And I like I said, once I developed the B&CCS's scheme, I could, because the B&CCS in my story, at least, my story ends in 1985, but in history would continue on at least into the 2000s. So I'll get, and that leads into what I'm saying here, which is I was inquiring to Paul because I wanted to give him a bit of a birthday present of a rail car, and I didn't know really what would work best for him for the GWT and its story. So I loosely inquired as to what kind of cars would be super common up there, and one of the cars that he brought up is scrap gondolas. So I went ahead and since I was tuning into a lot of Ray Arnott's streams from the 25th anniversary of Spring Creek Model Trains, I contributed to the celebrations by making a purchase of a Thrall 2743 scrap gondola, built 1995 by 2005, which is Paul's era. It would be nicely beaten, certainly not out of service, but worn well enough that I could show off my weathering capabilities and share that with Paul. So this, I got it in black. I took all the lettering off. It was for wheeling and for the WE. Took all that lettering off, painted it in Balfour Maroon. I sealed it approximately 2 minutes before I started stream, so it's a little bit patchy, but that's okay. I'm gonna things like this I can touch up after stream and actually maybe include in the weathering, but it is fully ready now. All the sealant has dried, so it is ready to receive its lettering. A couple other cars that I've been working on. I'll share this before we get into the meat of the work tonight. Well loved indeed, Garrett. I also designed some Pullman Standard 5344 boxcar, per diem boxcar logo paint schemes for the B&CCS. So these are almost ready for decaling. I was hoping to have these ready for decaling tonight as well, but with all the airbrush issues I was having, I just couldn't get it done. So these need black ends, and they need the raw silver roofs. I use what is it? I use 2/3. Where the heck did it go? There we go. I use 2/3 gloss coat, Tester's gloss coat, and 1/3. Where did I put it? It's literally right in front of me. I know it is, but I don't know where. So I use 2/3 of that, 1/3. Did I put it on the floor? Where the heck did I put it? I want to show it off. Well, oh, there it is. So I use 2/3 that, 1/3 paint thinner, odorless thinner. That's what I used, and that's what I've been using, and it works pretty well. And I just I mixed that in my airbrush cup and just shot it in my airbrush at around 25 psi, and just gave it a nice thin coat, and that's what I did. But so yeah, these just need their raw metal roofs put back on, which I'm going to do by building up some modeling putty around the edges and then kind of spraying over that to get the kind of soft edge around the paint. But yeah, spray can also typically dries fairly fast, but this has also been sitting for, at this point, 30 minutes, so plenty of time to dry. But yeah, so this is, and this is also, I forgot to mention what what brand and model and all of that this is. Where did the box go? It is an Atlas Master. Oh, it's over here. Oh, it's an Atlas Master line car. Here's the box. There's the info. It was for the Wheeling Lake Erie, but it was just not like, didn't have the WNLE really lettering or anything like that. It just had some basic reporting marks, and that was all. But so I went, we're gonna try and get this car done tonight, or at least do what we can. So, but yeah, so I designed up all the decals. Let's go. Good news, Paul. Let's go, Mets. Ah, good stuff. B.N. Ironwood. Good evening, my friend. Good to have you here. So these are all the decals that I had printed recently. We've got these here are for the 5344s. These are actually for a pair of PS1 standard 50-foot boxcars, which is why they're older, which is why they've got their ACI labels instead of the black box car data and stuff like that. We've got my Jeep 7, we've got my Jeep 9, we've got my Bicentennial GP40. It was D40-2, GP40. And then here we have, at the very bottom, the HO scale. The HO scale B&CCS stuff. So, Paul, I'm just going to show you real quick. These yellow marks actually came out pretty nice. So I don't know, I might try putting them on. But I'll leave that up to you since it's going to be your car. Whether you want me to... I think this car, I think the B&CCS would be fairly on top of trying to keep, put the stripes on, especially cars like this, which are in kind of slightly worse off shape, so they're not quite as visible. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But one way or another, this is going to have the conspicuity stripes. So I'll leave it up to you, Paul, whether you want the yellows or whether you want to use your reflectives that you've got from Smokebox or whatever. I think that'd be great, Paul and Garrett, because he's tagging Garrett there. I would totally work with them more if that was the case, instead of just printing them myself. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trim off all these HO decals from the end scales. And there's what we've got. I think, Paul, I might just throw these on then. You can always put the reflectives over these. Just apply them on top of all the weathering and everything, because that's kind of what would happen anyways. They'd clean just that one spot and then stick it on. But I want it to... I kind of want it to be all baked in. That way it's ready to run for you. You don't have to do anything. But so we're gonna get this done. So let me do that. So there's one half, there's the other half. Let me pull up my reference. Let's see, it would be trains. No, there we go, B&CCS. Thrall 2743. I'm gonna pull it up for me, and I'll also pull it up for you all out there in chat. Exactly, Paul. One less thing for you to have to worry about. Alright. Nope, not that one. This one. Browse. Let me pull up the image. Paint schemes. B&CCS. Thrall 2743. Done. Activate. There. This will be fun. real quick. That's what it's gonna look like. There is what there's what we're gonna wind up with, which should be pretty fun. I think this is gonna look great, and it's gonna weather pretty nicely too. It's gonna be very easy to fade, and I'm gonna have to ding up the top rail and stuff. But let me go ahead and put this away in the corner for you all. That way you can slowly see it come together. And actually, real quick, I will pull it up real big so you can go ahead and see. I went in and did all the details here because I figured if I'm doing it, why not? So we've got 3-inch HF comp shoes. We've got lift jack here. I came up with a job number, a thrall job number. I think I came up with 883 for the job number. Right there, you can see it. Oh, fun fact: the car's built date on the car data rectangle here is 7/95, which just so happens to match pretty well with one Paul stamp. And then we've got all the details over here as well. And then I also did all of the data that would be on the car end. There, you can kind of see over the right about here. Here, if I put my hand there, you can actually see it pretty well. There is the car data for the ends. So I went full on when doing this because I figured, why not make it as good as I can. Yeah, I know you guys are feeling the weight of your years. That's I think the nice way to put it. I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and get started with this, and I think the first thing we're gonna do is put on the reporting marks. So let me cut these out. Exactly. That's the great thing about designing a decal set. I'll be there soon enough. I know, Paul. That's the great thing about designing a decal set and just having the files. It's very easy to scale once it's done. So the PS1 boxcars, the 50-foot standard PS1s that I said I have this decal set for, I designed those in HO scale for some of my HO scale friends that model, somewhat earlier eras, and then scaled them down to N. Get off your lawn. Oh, jeez, Ted. What are we gonna do with you? Let me scoop this up out of the water. Well, let me get this light a little higher up, that way it's maybe not quite as washed out. Alright, so we're gonna slap this right there. Nope. Right there. I'm gonna use my push pin here to come on. I gotta say, every time I do decaling and stuff for you HO scale people, I realize just how much I've got it made down in N scale. Up here in HO, every little detail matters. Every little screw up shows up. I can kind of futz things a little bit down in N scale, and it's not that big of a deal. It's not so much the case for you guys. And there we go. The car is now properly labeled. B&CCS 7135 is now in existence. It doesn't quite look centered in that bay, so let me pull it over. There we go. That looks a little better. That is true, yeah. A lot of the, I put in just as much, actually I put in more detail, I think, to my PS53 44s than I did into even this car, as far as little labels and things, and I'm looking at them on the decal sheet, and I'm like, man, 80% of this is just going to look like chicken scratch on this car. But you know what? The little white dots, they mean something to me, so. Okay. All right. Next. Yeah, we'll just work. We'll just work along the car. Where did I put? There they are. I'm gonna get the lift jack here piece put in. And that is just to the left of the just to the left of the structural post. And I'm just going to clean up some of the film here before I put it on. That will do. Okay, let's scoop it up. Pop it into my decal bath. So these are actually very nicely detailed cars. Very nicely detailed cars that these Atlas Master Line thralls. Let me take a look, Scott. Let me pull up Discord here. Modeling. Let me look it up. These are ITFX 8174. Let me look up ITFX 8174 while I'm waiting for this decal to loosen. There we go. What did I say the number was? 8174. ITFX 8174 gondola. Alright, let's see. I'm on Railroad Pictures Archives now, looking at the ITFX here. So let's see. 81. Well, 8173 is here. Yeah, these do look like. Let's see. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps on the end. This only has 3 steps. So these are definitely. These are definitely taller gons. Those would probably come to about here, maybe. So an extra inch or so, or 2/3 of an inch higher. I'm not sure what those would be, to be honest. Railroad Pictures Archives labels them as like G519s or something like that, which I think is just the AAR code. So I don't think that's a specific model that you can look for. But Paul says that, or someone said, Paul, yeah, that was in the Discord. That's right. Paul said that they might be, Otter Valley might have those. So that might be somewhere to look. But those are definitely taller than these. If you look at the car end here on mine, you'll see there are only 3 steps on the ladder here on the end, right next to my finger, whereas your picture shows 5. So they definitely are taller. Yeah, very nice cars though, very neat. Good spot. Probably, if I had to guess, because it's a lot of similar stylings, it might also be a Thrall car. Like Thrall might also be the manufacturer of that car. Yep. Okay, let's get this next decal on. We're gonna get the 3-inch HF comp shoes for the brake shoe information, and that goes about here. There we go. Let's get this decal paper out of here. Soak up a little excess water here. There we go. Slide this right about here, maybe? Yeah, let's go about there. That looks about right. There we go. There is that. All right. So next up, we would have the load limit and lightweight information. This is fun. This really is fun. I find decaling, when it's stuff like this where I don't have to like work super hard to align things, it's fairly easy to do. This is super relaxing to me. It's a little stressful when I'm doing the pinstripes on the New Haven units, but something like this is just relaxing to me. There's that. Now the actual numbering. That is pertinent. What the heck? Oh, jeez. that's going to make my life a little difficult. I accidentally cut another one of the decals because my X-Acto jumped. It goes over there. Well, I can make do. Yeah, true, John. Cutting out the decals, I mean, as I just demonstrated to myself, can be a pain and can be very finicky. But once they're out, actually aligning them on the car and everything, super nice. True, Paul. Very true. Especially when you're working with long decals. Those long stripes, when they fold over themselves and they get... It's just like impossible to unfold them. But in general, though, I love decaling because you go from a blank slate like this to, you know, having all of the details and letters, and it goes from a maroon gondola to, oh, that's a very specific rail car. And that goes for me whether I'm doing a custom car like this, or whether I'm doing an actual prototype, or a freelance car like this, or whether I'm doing an actual prototype, or whatever. It's only when you get the long, thin decals where they you know, are really difficult to keep them. You know, if they've got to be nice and straight, it's hard to get them to stay straight and stuff like that. Then I start to get a little bit nervous. Just because I want it to look good, you know. I have to return to that New Haven unit at some point, probably not on stream, and just sit down for a day, probably, and just work out those stripes. So John, because I don't think you were there for that, but when I'm talking about the New Haven unit, I've been applying decals to New Haven PA, or FA rather, which in the as delivered scheme here, which you can kind of see the striping here. It is extraordinarily, it is 1 scale inch in N scale, so you can see it is quite fine. And I need to put 2 more down the side of this, and they all need to be roughly equidistant and pretty much parallel across the whole car body. So it's, yeah, oh boy is right. The B unit and the other A unit, whenever I get around to it, much nicer, much thicker stripes, and for the most part I have guides as rivet lines and things like that to use as reference. But for the as delivered scheme, those suckers just go right across the middle of the flat part of the car body. So I'm just kind of on my own out there. It does look awesome. It's honestly, I think it's one of my favorite paint schemes ever. Is the New Haven cab unit as delivered scheme. It looks simply phenomenal. Alright. So that's good. I think if I'm working my way across from left to right, the next step would be the letters. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes here. Okay. We're going to get the B. Thank you for the salutes, Paul. Yeah, I'm gonna need the grace of God to not lose every ounce of sanity I have while going through that unit. Okay. Come on, decal. Come off your paper. There we go. Beautiful. That looks pretty good as far as vertical and horizontal positioning goes, I think. I might push it up. Yeah, I'll push it up a hair more. That looks good. I'm satisfied with that height. CCS. Perfect. Good. Good, good, good. Happy with that. Pardon me. Ice cream coming back at me. Come on, decal. Come on, ampersand. There we go. Now I got the ampersand out of the sheet. There we go. Lay the ampersand down. Come on. Let's get this all nicely aligned and everything. Like that. I think that's pretty good. So something else that this project actually pushed me to do is kind of create an updated, not logo, but an updated font for my railroad. For the longest time and for most of what I do, I use a variant of Railroad Roman, a slightly expanded Railroad Roman for my font. So that's what's on, like for example, the numbering on my SD40-2 here, and all the numbering on and lettering on my bicentennial unit, and on my Jeeps, and even on my PS1 boxcars. It's all Railroad Roman. But as I was sharing with some friends this project and showing progress of my design for the layout of the lettering and everything, I think it was Miles at Interurban Era pointed out to me that Well, Railroad Roman after the 50s really kind of went away. You know, maybe the early 60s, but beyond that, it just got kind of hard to read. So, I stuck with a serif font because I really like the serifs, and it's kind of part of the identity of the railroad at this point to have the serifs on the white font. But I found a more modern, you know, a less intense serif and less stylized lettering, so it's far easier to read, far more straightforward writing-wise. And actually, the example that I think Miles used was Southern Pacific, which got rid of their Roman typeface by the end of the 50s and went to their more well-known word mark. But so that was something else that this project pushed me to do, was continue the storytelling through even the lettering on the rail cars. So the Pullman Standard 5344s and this both have the updated font. And I think I'm going to have to redo the lettering on my Dash 8 with the updated font. And maybe even my Dash 7. I have to decide. What I might do is I might leave the locomotives. I might leave anything that's just the lettering and not the word mark written out, as at least as far as like locomotive stuff. I might leave that all as the Railroad Roman, because the way I've expanded, and I've actually slightly modified the font so that it's a little bit taller, which makes it a lot easier to read. But I have to decide. Excuse me.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Have a good night, Sean. Sorry I missed you coming in, but I hope you have a great night, my friend. It's always good to see you. And I'll see you in your chat on Wednesday. For anyone who doesn't know Sean, Klondike, he is the creator of the Klondike and Scale T-Track modules. He does an excellent job with those. And we're actually, Paul and myself and Heath Hurwitz and Andy Estep and whole laundry list of other content creators are going to be actually coming up very shortly here. We're going to be putting out the first real public announcements of a really cool project that's in the works. So if you're a content creator and you want to be involved with the project that will hopefully push the hobby forward and inspire people to actually model and try out some new things in the hobby, check out go ahead and send an email to uploadexpressmodelers@gmail.com, and we'll give you some more information through that. But yeah, Paul, it's coming up real fast. Our deadline that we set for ourselves, that when we started, seemed oh so far away. So I have to do some work on that as well. Some conceptual work on that. I gotta really nail down my plan. Well, you see, Paul, that's why you have a team of people on this project. You can pawn off share some of that responsibility for the behind-the-scenes stuff with the rest of us. And then you just have to worry about your own Freemo modules and your own, well, we'll leave it at that. Your own Freemo modules and your own work for this project. I won't say any further. But expect a video from me on that in, let's see. What date is today? This is 21st. So maybe 3 weeks I'll have a video out promoting that and starting that process. But yeah, so a big thank you to Sean at Klondike's for supporting that project and helping us out, and that might give you at least a little bit of an idea as to what the project is going to involve. Let's get the second C in place here. Get this oriented right before I slide it off of its sheet. Come on, work with me. There we go. Toss that off. I know, Paul, it's a lot of work, but I'm really looking forward to getting that kicked off and seeing what everyone makes with that. It's going to be really fun and really exciting to see that all come together. As much as it is going to be, a fair bit of work to kind of kick it off, it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, we've got to decide on an official launch date for that, Paul. Maybe we'll talk about that later or tomorrow, or probably tomorrow, not later. Finally, this car is really starting to come together. So, it's pretty nice. The next step after the lettering is done, honestly, not a bad idea, Paul. Before you forget, or I forget, or we both forget. There's the S, liberated from its paper prison. Paul, to your comment in Heath's Discord, I don't know if you could get away with calling this 4K. Yeah, you could maybe say caught N-Scale Train Boy caught working in HO in 780p. That I could understand, but I don't know if you could quite call this level of quality here 4K. Let's get this centered. Soak up this excess. Actually, scoot it just a touch to the left. I think that's pretty good. Not to mention, Paul, that this is certainly not the first time that I've worked on HO scale stuff on stream. I've done it before. I think it was back in February? March? Something like that. I was working on my PS1 50-foot boxcar in HO scale. Live on stream, I believe. It's not unheard of. Simply uncommon. Every now and again, I do have to make my forays into the world of large scales. That car came out really good, though. I was super happy with that 50-foot box. And hopefully a second one will be appearing on the Interurban channel at some point soon. I unfortunately did not have the time to put together and paint the car and decal the car 4 miles, Callan. But I did pull together the decal set, give him a paint chip of my maroon color, give him a diagram for how to paint it and how to letter it. So he is he has everything he needs, and at some point he'll start working on that, which is fun. Let's see. Yeah, it looks about right, although it's a little off kilter. There we go. There's the build plate. Okay, next up we have the internal length and the cubic footage. Which is, of course, the decal that I accidentally cut earlier. Luckily, I didn't cut it through a letter, but in between letters. Scott, have a good evening, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to have you here. It's awesome always to have you here. And if anyone hasn't seen yet, Scott has his first video out about his layout. Highly recommend everyone go check it out. Looks like he's off to a great start, and can't wait to see more. See, this goes right here. There we go. After reason you sent me the cut. Well, hey, you know, Paul, It worked. It worked. Once I get this side decaled, I might run over and grab that car to share with anyone who has not seen it before. Although I could also go ahead and direct them to any of the videos that I have put out in the last couple months on Ops Till You Drop or Island Ops, as it appears in all those videos. Nope. Other side of the stable here. Yeah, Paul, you could just I've got the playlist to Ops Till You Drop. You could just drop that in there if you want, or the playlist to Island Ops, either one or both, whatever you so desire, as long as it's not a Rickroll. There we go. Yeah, that was a great layout though, Paul. That was Dick Hare's B&A Central layout, which was a really neat layout. It was one of the first kind of loop layouts that I've seen that have really good operations. He really did a great job adapting a layout that was really meant for just running trains around to developing a op scheme that works really well with it. And I love how he has the operator swap out, so you get to do the main line running for half the session, and then you get to do the inside switching for the other half. Exactly, Paul. It's a little 11 foot by 11 foot. It looks phenomenal. Like the scenery he did looks great. But it's it's not this massive basement empire. It's not this huge, it doesn't. It's got a handful of industries. It's got a handful of car spots. And that's all you really need. Okay, there's that. Although I still don't feel like those are level. I still don't feel like these decals are level, so I'm gonna flatten them out. Man, having cut this decal makes it a real pain. Well, good news is we're definitely gonna get this side done tonight on stream. So Paul, you will be able to see what your car here is going to look like pre-weathering. We're going to go ahead and put the car data on now. There's the car data rectangle. Let me just make sure it is centered. And level. Looks pretty good. Now we're gonna do the other lift jack. I'm gonna leave the logo for last because I think that's fun. Other than, well, I'll do the conspicuity stripes last, really. Lift slash jack here. And then the 3-inch HF comp shoes. There's that, which leaves the last big decal for this side of the car. The winged diamond itself. I'm so happy with how this logo came out, by the way. I kind of I struggled for a long time, which is why most of my locomotives don't have a logo. They just have the word mark on the side of the locomotives, because that's kind of the general feel that I came up with. I've started to put them on noses, but most don't have the logo. But then I came up with the wings diamond here, and I was very happy with it. I sketched it out. I actually think I still have the yep, there was the initial draft of what became my logo. We got the diamond with the wings out either side, lettering like that, kind of in a bridge, and I simplified down a little bit and wound up with this. Oops. But yeah, I keep that sticky note around because I think that's awesome to have that first sketch. Well, to be honest, I don't know if that was the first sketch because I was kind of sketching things for a while. And I had a couple of older logos that never made their way onto any rolling stock or anything like that because I was never really truly satisfied with them. But this was the first logo that really stuck. And there it is. Oh, did I make it slightly too wide for the bars? Ah. Oh well, Microsol will come in to save the day. Let's add a little bit of Microsol to this here to really save it. Indeed. I made it like just barely too wide. There we go. That does it. Let me just make sure that it is centered and straight. There we go. And now I'll let the Microsol do its thing. Okay, so now we just got the conspicuity stripes real quick. And we will be good to go on the side. And I think then I'll run over and I'll grab my 50-foot boxcar for fun. For fun. And then we'll wrap up the stream. Don't go. No, no, no. That's not where you go. There we go. Yeah, Paul, when you get this car, you'll see how close I really got with this logo to having it be just right, and how little is on the structural members here. It's like maybe a millimeter of decal that's too big, but you can't fix that once the decal's printed. Goodness. True. It's not too big. It's really that well, I don't know. The art department got the art department got sent the wrong dimensions for the car, so it's not the art department's fault. It's the car manufacturer's fault, definitely. That's what we're going with. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. In actuality, what it is the drawing that I have up on screen. I not very loosely, but I loosely sketched this out in Adobe Illustrator on top of a JPEG of a product image, not a product image, like a product drawing from Atlas. So didn't exactly have the most reliable information when it comes to the sizes of these bays. But it works, and I'm really not worried about it at all. There we go. I'm honestly kind of sad that I don't model an era with conspicuity stripes, because I always think they're kind of neat details to add to the car. Come on. Here we go. There we go. Man, I really need to sit down. Just sitting here thinking about all the projects that I have either started or planned. Realizing how imperative it is that I just kind of sit down with myself and write out a list. Because I had one at one point of the projects and kind of the order that I wanted to get them done in. And I got, I don't know, a quarter of those done. And then I lost the list, and then now I've had more projects that I've added to the list. So. A big one, and one of my high priorities right now, once this is done, is going to be that Upload Express Modelers project. That's going to be up there, as well as returning to my model of the Hopewell Depot and actually getting that assembled and completed, because I got to get that done by September, so I can bring it with me when I go up to the Northeast Region Convention in Concord, New Hampshire. I am going to do it tomorrow because I forgot. I forgot, Paul, but it's going to happen tomorrow. I guarantee it. I'm going to sit down because I'll actually have some time tomorrow to just sit down and go through all of the things. But to be fair, I didn't get home Saturday night until 12:30 in the morning. to be fair to me. But I did say that I was going to, so I'm going to do it tomorrow. Tonight, after stream, I might sit down and write down a list of all the things that I'm planning on registering for. But it's going to happen tomorrow. But I do also have to finish that model, so I can bring it with me so it can get judged. Which I think means I'm going to have to reach out to someone with a laser cutter and get the brackets done by someone, because I can't do that by hand. Not an N scale. Maybe an HO scale. Maybe. But I'll design the brackets. I'm going to touch base with my friends at the depot and get accurate dimensions for the roof bracketing. And there we have it. There is one full side of this car completed. Bring in the zoom a little bit so we can kind of zoom around. There we go. Slow pan across the car, conspicuity stripes and all. The one last thing that I'm going to do on stream is I'm just going to quickly slap the decals onto the car end because it's 2 decals. And it's very easy for me to do. And then we're going to be done for tonight. But Paul, you can expect me to be working on this throughout this week. And hopefully by next week I'll be able to mail it up to you. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have it done and up there by Monday. I'm gonna try. That's gonna be my goal. I don't know how realistic it is though. But I am gonna try for that, Paul. I should be able to get the decaling done by tomorrow night probably. Come on, decals. Work with me here. I just had to say these were going to be easy to apply, didn't I? Just had to say it. That's true, Paul. But that is going to be my goal. Ted, thanks for tuning in. Glad you enjoyed. Have a wonderful night, Ted. Oh man, this is frustrating. So what wound up happening here as I struggle to fight with this decal is this is one decal that I meant to be two. So but I accidentally put it in the water before I separated it. So then I said, oh shoot, okay, well let me cut it on the paper, then try and slide it into two separate pieces. Then it didn't fully cut, so it kind of wrapped around itself when I tried to slide it off the paper, and now it's just a whole mess. Hey, I got them separated. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is flipping over all over the place on me. It's not very nice to do that. So please just get into orientation and position. That's pretty close. That'll do. Perfect. Now the numbers. Don't you dare do this to me, 7. There we go. I got the numbers onto the blade and off of my finger. And now I just got to get it onto the model. Come on, it's so close. It's so close, Paul. I promise. I swear. I swears it. Yes. There we have it. The numbers, or the reporting marks, they're in the step wells. Okay. And now I just have this car data, which is one big rectangle, so it will assumedly go smoothly. And into the bowl. And onto the model. Go, go, go. And there it is. Which makes this car officially halfway done being decaled. Here's all the car data and everything on the end. And all the way along the sides of the car. And that is where we are going to wrap for tonight. I'm very happy, very, very happy with how this looks so far. This is coming out phenomenally. I'm really glad with the really glad the decals all came out nicely and everything is settled into place well and fit into place well. And I can't wait to get this up to you, Paul. So I think that's that was a solid stream tonight, despite the hectic beginning. But I hope you all enjoyed tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Rest well, my friends. I'll see you next week, and I'll see you on the next track. Have a good night, folks.